Hey, everybody, we are actually live. There's Jerry. Hi. I cannot hear you. Can you hear me? Mm-mm. Hey, everybody. We apologize for some technical issues that we're having with tonight's show. We're trying to get everything going here. Seems to be on both sides. You know how it is? It's a Monday for sure. Anyway, as soon as we get things going, we'll officially start the show. One thing that's new for the shows going forward is we do request that anybody who is interested in getting a reading from Jerry during the show, you go in and like and follow us on the format that you're watching. If you're watching on Facebook, please go to our Facebook page, The Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit, and make sure that you like the show, like our page. And then same with our YouTube. Please make sure you like the channel, and we will be following up with this with everybody. Jerry, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Yeah, I'm really sorry, everybody. So just hang out with us. Know we're working on it. And so, let's see. Well, this gives everybody time to go in and like our page. So we're looking forward to another great show. Hi, Nicole. Nice to see you. All right, Jerry. Better luck this time. Hey. No, I can't. We're okay. We're getting there. We wanted you to know we were trying rather than just having a blank screen. All right, everybody, just hang out with us here. I am going to, I think, take us, try to take us off here. What can we do? We can try some technological things. Nothing you can do? Hey, everybody. I see lots of you on there. If anybody has any great suggestions, let us know. Jerry, can you hear me? Maybe try restarting your computer as well. All right, everybody. Gosh, what's new? We are having our first Spirit Fest in a while. We've been off for 2.5 months. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody. That's going to be in Lakeland. I'm trying to see if here we are. The Lakeland show, which is in between Orlando and Tampa. Very convenient, right off of I-4, and a really great venue. And we've got about 85 vendors. And we've got really great ones from all around the country coming in too. But what's special about this one is it's one of the largest gatherings of crystal vendors in Central Florida. Usually the only time that you're going to see this many crystal vendors might be at a gem and mineral show, or some of you go to the wholesale show, even though the general public cannot go to the wholesale show. But we've got a lot of really great new crystal vendors, in addition to some new readers. A lot of your past favorites. One of the people that everybody likes to see is Christopher Timms with his sound tables, as well as Scott Donat, who does the reflexology. He's amazing. He's been doing a lot of great work with his, it's called the Way Through Experience. It's about trauma and how trauma resides in the body, and which I think is really interesting. Jerry said that he might try his iPhone. All right, we're trying to get him on, just so that we can have a show tonight. We trust Spirit, and everything will work out like that it's supposed to. So I'm going to ask you another question while we wait for him to get on. What do you think of my yellow wall? This is my office that I'm in, and I really like working in this yellow room. It's just kind of bright and happy, but I'm not really super sure that I love that from my backdrop. So I'm interested for you guys to hear maybe what color it should be if I were to paint it. Just some thoughts. Lori loves the yellow. Thank you. There was we're getting really off topic here. In Hollywood, the Max Factor studio, they had a room for each actress that had different color hair. So if you were brunette, they might put you in a purple room, or if you were blonde, they might put you in a blue room. I don't really remember exactly what the colors were, but there's a philosophy to it. So I just want to make it easy for everybody to see here. So again, we're waiting for Jerry to come in on his phone. So again, to repeat, mint green, that would actually be nice. If you would, anybody that's going to get a reading tonight, we do request that you go in and like our page on the venue, on the stream, the platform that you're watching us on. If you're watching us on Facebook, go to our Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit page and just make sure you hit like and follow, and then same with on YouTube. People are listening to us from all different platforms. This is really great. So Nicole doesn't like my couch. Okay. It's a 6-foot couch and it's really comfortable to nap on. All right, Jerry, can you hear us? Are you on your phone or are you on your computer? All right, he's trying. Okay, Spirit Fest coming up next weekend. The next show after that is only 3 weeks away, and that's going to be in Melbourne. And that's also a really big show that we do there. We really love coming back to Melbourne. We've been going to there for 4 or 5 years, I think. Lakeland, this is our 2nd year there. And last year's show was also really well attended. It was right after the new year, I'm pretty sure. Jerry, oh boy. We're trying. I'm going to send Jerry a text. His camera is not connected. There he is again. What do you think?
Can you hear me?
Yay!
Well, let me turn it on. I can tell you what the problem is. On the laptop, I can't go below where it says Enter Studio. But when you go below the Enter Studio link, that's where it says allow access for your microphone. On the phone, I can do it, but it wouldn't let me do it on
Okay.
the
We'll
laptop.
go over that at the end of the show. We can try to troubleshoot just a little bit. So we have got lots of people watching. And I was really excited that they're watching from all over. Hey, Scott, I was just talking about you. That they're watching from a lot of people are on Facebook and a lot of people are on YouTube. So I'm really happy about that. So
I'm going to find something that I can prop up the phone with.
okay. Take your time. All right. What else has been going on in the world? As always, we talk about first contact and extraterrestrials. I was very interesting in the stuff that's coming out in the mainstream media, and I'm interested also to hear through your comments what people think of that. There are a lot of people that are kind of voicing their concern that there's conspiracies, that this is going to be a false flag, or all of these different things, or Dr. Stephen Greer, I want to say, just dropped a new movie, and I'm not sure if anybody saw that, but I'm interested to hear what people think about it. But I have always maintained since I was young, I think maybe even like 12, that I think that that will happen before the end of my lifetime, that there it will be open information that we're not the only people in this galaxy. Oh, you're sideways, Jerry. There you go. I didn't want all the blood to rush to your head.
That's for our friends in Australia. So
and there may be. So Anita said she loved the Port St. Lucie show. They're all similar but different. And that's what's exciting. And I was
in Port St. Lucie on that Sunday doing a gallery reading.
Okay, good. And you will be in Lakeland. What day is your gallery reading in Lakeland?
It's on Saturday from 12 to 2. And Port St. Lucie will be on Sunday from 12 to 2.
Okay.
But Lakeland both days. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited.
And just so you'll know, it's very common that ticket sales really pick up the week of the show, which now is the week of the show. And they doubled overnight. So if you're interested in seeing Jerry's gallery, it would be wise to get a seat at least before the show, before Saturday, because a lot of people will wait till the last minute. We hate to turn people away. I always feel so bad. So sometimes we try and squeeze them in, but sometimes we just...
Lakeland only seats 50, right? So
yes.
50 maximum we can do.
Yeah. That's a really nice venue there too. And surprisingly, Lakeland has a really cute downtown area. There's a lot of really cute restaurants. There's antique stores. It's an area to walk around in as well. So, but the venue itself, I was shocked when I went there. It was probably a couple of years ago, and I don't really know what I expected for Lakeland, but they've got one of the better venues, I think, of where we go. So looking
forward to it.
So are you relaxed?
Yeah, looks like I'm about to take off on a plane or something. I don't know what the heck. I mean,
what have you got the phone propped up on?
That.
No. Okay.
In the hospital for 8 months, this is how I looked at my iPad. The kids bought me this, and so now I have the phone propped up on it.
Nice. Okay. All right. So it is now 7:18. And so it is almost time when we say, if you are interested in getting a reading from Jerry, please put your in the comments in capital letters that you would like a reading. If you have a question, if there's, something specific, or you would just like a message from Spirit. But as I was mentioning, if you would like a message, please be sure to go in and like our page. If you're viewing on YouTube, just go in and like and follow our page, and then same with on the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. So I also want to let everybody know before we get started, Jerry's website is jmacmedium.com. And you can learn more about Jerry in the work that he's been doing in the years. How many readings do you think you've done over your time?
In the 10 years, because you're supposed to keep count, and I do for the IRS because I have an LLC, but I don't know, in between 1 and 2,000 in 10 years. Wow. I have, now a lot of people, that's nothing. You've got people coming to Lakeland that have done, there's a young lady there, can't think of her name. She's done, oh my gosh, 10, 15,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I back down the readings a little bit because I love doing Spirit Fest. That takes up energy. but and you know, I'm going to school, learn more about metaphysical science, and I'm working on my third book. So I backed down the one-on-one readings, but and by the way, a loved one's already starting to come in, so I'm starting to pick up a couple of things here and there. So this is really
Oh, interesting.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, well then let's just go ahead and get started on that note. So please pardon us for the technological issues, but this is what everybody came for. So we can chat later. Mike Doyle would love a message. Oops,
Mike Doyle.
there we are.
That name's real familiar. It's an Irish name, but
Where you from, Mike?
what's that?
Was asking Mike, where's he from?
Isn't he from like? But that name's real familiar. I know that name.
All right.
So let's see, Mike. There is a loved one. There are a couple of loved ones, and Mike, I don't know if one of them's connected to you or both. It's a man and a woman. So again, when we do this, Mike, I think Mike's pretty experienced at this for some reason. I'm not using prior information. Just the name sounds familiar. There's a lot of energy with that name, and a lot of times, Mike, loved ones just kind of come in all at once. It's back in my days, Mike, we'd call it rushing the stage when we watch rock concerts. But I'm going to start with the man. There's a gentleman here. He's got a fatherly essence to him. Don't know if he's a father. Could be father, father-in-law, somebody like a father, or an older brother, or an older brother or an uncle, somebody like that was like a father. But he comes through so excited. So I don't know, Mike, if you've done this before, if he's ever come in before, but he's so excited. He's looking all around going, wow, 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 wow. Okay, and I don't know if it's a recent passing, but it's something with the throat. Something, Mike, something up here with the throat. Because as soon as I said, wow, 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 it's like he can speak clearly for the first time. Now, he could have been incubated or whatever at some point in the hospital. I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor, so I won't guess, but there's something with the throat. He's I really think it's a father. If it's not, then not trying to hurry your father into the spirit realm there, Mike. But there is a sense of peace that he has that maybe in the last 12 to 18 months he didn't have. Turmoil, sorry, that's my Tennessee accent, turmoil around him and inside him. But he's so happy that you're doing well. Now he says, lately you have felt a little bit uneasy, or like you felt like maybe not somebody's watching you, Mike, but a little bit uneasy. There are a lot of angels around you, so there's stuff coming up that you'll need angels. Doesn't mean dying, Mike. We all need angels. And I sense this gentleman's passing is right around this time, so it's maybe an anniversary of his passing. He's coming through, says, keep hitting the books. So, Mike, I'm afraid you're going to have to go back to school. No, when they say hit the books or hit studies, I don't want to press Mike like that. First one out of the back. It just means keep studying, keep studying. You have so much to learn because you have so much to give. Oh, now it's almost like Michael or Mike. He said Michael, so it's almost like correcting me. It's almost like Marianne, he's in the medical field. And he may not, but maybe he's just a healer and the shaman. There's so much energy around Mike. It's really amazing. It really is. And okay, he just called you son, which is what I was looking for. Again, could be father-in-law. Some people have a better relationship with their father-in-law than they do their father, and I get it. But he's talking about your hair, almost like he's stroking your hair, almost like he's so excited. I'm gonna have to cut it off here in a minute, but he's so excited. And I don't know if he had a bicycle or a motorcycle, and I don't know if this is attached to Mike somehow, Mary Ellen, but I wrote down, can't see it, but bicycle, motorcycle. But he said, it's calm down. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You're such a good man. It's almost like Mike makes a mistake, like we all do, and that mistake weighs on him. And I'm just going to say your father. I'm going to go out on a limb and say your father. And if it's not your father, Mike, I apologize. Didn't mean to offend, but he just said the boy will be okay. So that's a son or a nephew, or and he's talking about your new place. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it off because we're gonna be talking here for 2 hours, Mike. But he's just so excited. There's a woman now in back of him. Don't know if it's your mom. There's just a woman back there, but this fatherly like essence and vibration is so high. He's so excited that you're here and that and excited about your studies. And doesn't mean book stuff. Could mean stuff we're doing here, Mike. Um, Boy, he's got an Irish name, doesn't he, Marianne Doyle? Um, and that's really what I've got for you, Mike. And the future. Last thing, he's talks almost like a poet or philosopher. He says the future may look cloudy at times, but he says you have the ability to part the clouds. Wow, and see the sun shining and see the future bright. And it's like there's been 2 or 3 or 4 setbacks in Mike's life lately. I get it, Mike. It sucks, but there's much better days ahead coming within the next month or two. Sounds like a horoscope, but anyway, coming within the next month or two, he's excited. And I just got something about a motorcycle again. I don't know if he said sell the motorcycle or I can't remember. I can't make out what he's saying. Anyway, that's what I have for you, Mike.
Great, thank you. And Mike is from Florida, just so you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always love seeing our Irish brothers and sisters on here, but Mike was not one of them. So, but that was very specific. So thank you. And Mike, if you have any comments, he said thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, put them in the. So as many of you know, I am summering up here in central New York, where it is very chilly and rainy the majority of the time. And I was sitting here and I just saw a deer just walk right up the front yard, right by my window, just very nonchalant. So that was
what
that
did?
Was what?
What walked by your window?
A deer.
If a deer walked by my window here in Orlando, it would collapse of heat stroke.
Yeah. No, it's like 73. Actually, it's 69. It's gone down to 69. And it's yeah. So anyway, I love company. Got lots of guest rooms. All right, let's get on with the show. Scott Donat is interested. I'm not saying that right. It's Donat. Scott Donat is interested on information on his brother. If you could share any.
I've never talked to Scott, and he is just like one of the icons I look up to, and I look every time I see him on my mind. All right, so Scott, it's so nice, and when we're in Lakeland, I want to stop by. I'm sorry, Scott. He's the foot guy. I just don't let anybody touch my feet. But if I did, it would be you, and I may be close to making that decision. But I'm going to cut that funny stuff out. And Scott, I don't know if this is a gentleman. This is your brother, but there is a gentleman there. There's almost like a father's son, almost like a father's son. So I don't know if this is your brother and your father, but it's almost like a father's son. And one of the passings, and don't know if it's your brother, it's fairly tragic. It's almost like, and he's crying. He's crying. If this is your brother, he acts like your brother. God, I don't know if Scott has a twin, but the energy is so similar. They kind of look alike. But Scott, he is so, I'm going to say this, your brother, and he's so proud of you, proud of your work. Okay, he's saying what I was getting ready to say. This is validation for me about you writing a book or a manual. I don't know if you've done one, but some of the stuff you're doing, Mike, is just, Mike, I called you Mike. Some of the stuff you're doing, Scott, is just so, excuse me, is so inspiring. Does he do the reflexology? Is that what that's called?
He does, yes.
He's always packed. So if you're going to go to Lakeland, go see Scott. He's got a busy man, and but there's something. Okay, there's something, Scott, with this brother's hands. If this is your brother, I think it is something with his hands or one of his hands. And I don't know if there's something with one of his hands, or I don't know if he's warning you about, hey, watch, because you're a very physical guy and you do a lot of physical work. Watch, like one of the hands, something like carpal tunnel or arthritis or something like that. I don't know. You don't look old enough to have those things. But so I don't know if your brother's saying, hey, watch the hand, or if there's something wrong with your brother's hand. He's acknowledging he felt he left quickly. And the reason I say felt, Scott, because a lot of times, even after a long illness, and I don't think this is I don't think he had a long illness, but even after a long illness, people feel like they were upright one day and down the next. So I throw that in case it doesn't make sense, but it feels like he left very, very quickly. And he's throwing some little tidbits here about tending the garden. Tending the garden. What else? He too is so excited, and Scott is one of those ascendant people here on Earth, and don't know if he's had many readings. He probably has. Don't know if his brothers come through. Okay, Scott. Let's say this other older gentleman seems to be a father. One of either the brother or this older gentleman that seems to be a father or has a father-like essence seems to be wearing some type of military uniform. Because I want to thank him for his service, or some type of uniform. Could have been a policeman, could have been a fireman, could have been a doctor or a surgeon. All those, we thank them for what they do. Okay, now he's raising a flag. To me, that American flag indicates, to me, military, or I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to overanalyze it, but he's so happy for you. Okay, last thing he's saying, Scott, is because Scott, as you know, you're very familiar with all this. Probably been doing this stuff longer than me, I'm sure. I always ask him for validations. What can you give me? He's saying, did you get the place fixed up? And so I don't know if you were renovating or if there was an old house or something. Did you get the place fixed up? Oh, did you finally get the place fixed up? But he loves you very much. He has, I think toward the end of his life, he was struggling with finding peace and happiness. There's a lot of struggles. He said, I found peace and happiness. I want you to know that. I'm amazed by what you do. It's almost like he kind of did the same thing Scott does, but I'm amazed by what you do and how much you've carried it to a science. What before doing the stuff you do, people didn't understand. Now, because of you, they understand it. And he blows you. Both gentlemen blow you a kiss, and they said when you're doing that and you feel a chill, like on your shoulders, that's both of them on either side. Okay, so thank you, Scott.
Scott, let us know if that resonates with you. I know he has a brother that's still with us. And I think that's kind of who he was thinking of, but that's not who came through. So I'm interested if that resonated with him. So I hope that he got the information that he wanted. And if not, let us know.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Let's see. Stacy would be our next person up.
Okay, Stacy, this is, first of all, I do sense, because a lot of my main gift really is clairvoyance. Mediumship's kind of second one. And yeah, I got to disconnect because that was a lot of information from Scott. And if it wasn't his brother, somebody's at the door. Oh, at our door. I'm sorry, somebody ring the doorbell. And so, Stacy, what I'm hearing from spirit to me, Stacy, is God's breath of divine energy. Everybody else has a different interpretation of spirit, and I get it. But spirit to me indicates that it's time for change. It's time for it's time to wipe the slate clean. It's time for change. And Stacy, what I feel, and there is a woman back there, but that's coming forward slowly, very slowly, like a mother, grandmother, aunt, somebody that was, passed with more than one illness. I'm seeing major illnesses. And okay, so she's talking, but she's talking in a very high-pitched voice. But I want to get through, Stacey, what Spirit has said. So Spirit said, this time for change is on many fronts. Many fronts meaning could be time to change a job, time for relationships, time for a move, which is probably the last thing you need to hear. But if you've been thinking about it, there's really good energy around the move. But it's time to kind of wipe the slate clean, I guess, and start over. And because I think it's something you have sensed for a while. Okay, now I want to bring this lady in. If this, Stacey, if this is your mom, she's showing me as elderly, even though I know her energy is younger. She wants to be seen as younger, but they know for validations. If I said, Stacey, there's a 30-year-old woman here, it appears to be your mom. I don't know how old you are, Stacey, but even if you're 18, that means your mom was 12 years old. Okay, so let me get that out of the way. And she's saying the time for second guessing yourself is really over. It's time to take a risk, take a leap of faith. This is a very motherly type of tone I'm hearing. But it's time. Oh, somebody else stepped in for you, Stacey. It's almost like a sister, almost like a sister. But they said now they're both kind of talking in unison. Boy, there's so many people. Hoping I'm organized. You know, Marianne, sometimes it's tough to organize when they're all coming in like this. But it's time to please quit second guessing yourself and do what you want to do, not what you need to do. And if others are on the same page, that's fine. If they're not, go what you feel compelled to do. Almost like she's going to a ministry or something. Go what you feel Spirit is leading you, God's Spirit universe is leading you to do, because it's part of your destiny. This woman, this younger woman, who's like a sister. Your energy is young, Stacey, and so this woman kind of is around your age, I think. The energy says I'm around her age, and she says, "Please believe in yourself. Please believe in yourself," and saying the future really looks good, especially summertime. Well, we're in summertime. I need a clarification because we're in summertime. We're in the middle of summer. Let me see what she's saying. Okay, so something, please know by the end of summer, she's saying by the end of summer, which I don't make those promises, but she's saying by the end of summer, something really, really special is going to happen. Don't wait for it, but just putting yourself in a position to accept it when it comes. It's going to come, and it's gratitude. The universe is showing you gratitude for staying the course. Okay? Thank you, Stacey. I know that's a lot of stuff. Marielle, the energy is just...
That's amazing. Now, I would like to remind everybody, in order to get a message tonight, we do need you to go on to our page and make sure that you like and follow our page. We're requesting that everybody do that so we can keep in touch. There's been a few people here that that are kind of in order in line for a reading, but I do want to make sure that you like and follow our page first. So I'm actually kind of going through here. All right, let's go down to Melanie. And I'm going to step out of the way.
Okay. But your energy is still there. Your energy is still there. Okay, Melanie, it's almost like, thank you for being here, and thank you so much for Scott and Mike, and I just forgot the person who was there, just Stacey. Thank you for all being there, and I'm sorry for the losses in your life. It's tough. Melanie, so I'm sorry, man. I'm laughing because I'm going to write a book. I've written 2 books, working on a third. I've got a 4th one planned for a few years from now. And the one after that is called When the Circus Comes to Town. And the reason it's called When the Circus Comes to Town is talking about developing your gifts, right? Developing your gifts, metaphysical gifts, of which you have many. And I think you're using a lot of them already. And so Spirit said, okay, tell the story when the circus comes to town. And it's not a story, but a lot of times when we develop these metaphysical gifts, the circus comes to town. Okay, Spirit just stopped me in mid-sentence. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't know if there's so much electricity here in Florida. That's what the problem is, but there's a lot of yeah. Okay, so It's almost like Melanie using her metaphysical gifts, psychic, intuition, mediumship, empath, healing. I think healing is really big with Melanie. Sometimes, Melanie, when we start to use these gifts, even unconsciously use them, um, um, people pull up, they, 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 they stake their tents out and they come and say, nah, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. But I think you're doing a lot of really good stuff with your gifts and continue. And I think you almost do it unconsciously and continue doing that. And Melanie, there's a near death experience connected to you or somebody in the family. I'm hearing NDE, and I study and I research, and I'm fascinated by the subject of the people who have gone over there and come back. Uh, and somehow there's a near death experience that's associated or connected to you or your family or a close loved one. And that's what Spirit is telling me. It's time. Oh, this is almost like psychic, but that's okay. It's time for travel. It's time for travel, including Melanie taking a trip that you don't really want to take. That you're like, do I really have to take this? Do I really have to take the trip? Normally, when I hear somebody associated with that, it's like a family, like a family reunion, a wedding, or unfortunately a funeral. I get it, but Spirit is saying, take the trip, because there's somebody that needs your healing touch. And quite honestly, Mary Ellen, she's a strong empath, a very strong empath. Feel the energy, feel the energies around her, um, and she just protect yourself because that can drain you of energy, Melanie. Um, I think that's what I've got, Melanie. It seems like there's something there. I just can't quite break through and bring it. Oh, here comes, here comes, here comes. Um, Sorry, Melon. There's a child here. So somebody lost a child. There's a child here that kind of came through. I could sense the energy. Um, Real quick, yesterday, Mary Ellen, I did a talk at Spiritual Church of Awareness. I was doing messages, and two children came through,
Wow.
and who had been, who had passed. And the audience of about 25, 30. Nobody, it didn't connect with anybody. And I could vividly see the two, a boy and a girl, going up and down, up and down, up and down the aisle. And finally they go, well, I did lose. What That's what Spirit wants you to do. They want to be recognized. They want you to know that they're there. And this is a child, cannot tell Melanie if it's connected to you somehow, or your or a loved one somehow. And keep in mind, folks, if I give you a message, if Spirit gives you a message, I'm just a conduit. A lot of times you turn out to be the medium to pass that message on to somebody else. Mary Ellen will tell you it happens in every gallery reading where people go, you know, I came here and it wasn't for me, but by gosh, I'm going to give this to somebody. I know that's who that message is meant for. So please keep that in mind when we're doing these messages. I can't tell if it's a boy or girl, but there's a child that was lost, and the child is just so full of energy and love and light, as children do when they pass. And I think it's a female. I think it's a girl. I just heard she's doing fine. So, okay.
Okay, awesome. I just hid my comments by accident. Okay, so a lot of people have requested messages, but I'm going through the list and we need you to have liked and follow our page, whichever you're watching, whether it's on Facebook or it's on YouTube. Please go in and like and follow our page. And then if you would please post in the comments. We also want to see who's with us. Sometimes people kind of begin early and then we drop off, and we want to make sure that anybody that Jerry's connecting with is still on. So if you would like a message tonight, please type your post all in caps after you've gone in and liked and followed our page. Melanie and Love and Light said she was going to be joining us in Melbourne. And she said, welcome to the circus is appropriate. She says, thank you. So that's exciting.
He going to be a vendor?
I don't know. She didn't say. let me see.
I won't be
doing the event. So maybe when she phrased it that way that she will. So, and I apologize that I'm not exactly familiar with everybody that does all the shows. There's so many. So anyway, that'll be exciting.
Oh, I mean, you know.
She should, yeah, she will be a vendor.
Oh, good. Melanie, good luck. God bless.
Mm-hmm.
Good fortune. Good fortune.
You just touched on something, and now it's escaped me. I'm trying to do. She'll be doing vendor readers and healings. So very excited. So okay, so if you would like a message tonight, even if you've already typed in your request, please post it in the comments right now. After you've gone in and liked and followed our page, I'm sure that so many people are doing that right now. So we were going to talk about the whole point, if we had time to chat here earlier, was about life after death and the validation that we do carry on, and that was what you touched in with Melanie. And sometimes it is just the recognition, and it's about that. It's about making that connection that we realize that they're not gone. And I know that it's hard. We certainly miss them. And it's very, it's a keen sting. But knowing that we do carry on, and that we will see our loved ones to me, it's very reaffirming anyway.
Yeah, when you think about it, there are over 3,000 religions in the world. And, I can't name them all. I can maybe name a dozen, that's about. But almost overwhelming majority of them believe in the continuity of life in some manner, shape, or form. Because I get asked questions. I'll probably say this in Lakeland: is there a heaven? The question we all get asked, you get asked, like, is there a heaven and hell? And I'm not here to say there is or there isn't. All I can do is give you my thoughts, my feelings. But I pay attention to the near-death experiences. That's the people that have been to the other side and come back. And a lot of times it is a tremendous feeling of the tube and the light and the music and the sound and colors. Imagine this, Marianne, colors that they've never seen before. So that's stuff we can't wrap our heads around. And then there are also people who pass and say, and it's a pretty hellish experience. Well, this one gentleman interviewed over 4,000 near-death experience people. And one of the things that came out is it kind of depends. Some of it may depend on what you believe, what your religion is, what you believe in life. Because he said, it's funny. I don't recall a single Buddhist who had a near-death experience. As somebody who died and came back. And he's interviewed people on their deathbeds. He's interviewed people, and I think it gives us hope that sometimes they see and they hear and they dream. But we all know there are dreams, and then there are dreams, right? There are dreams, and there are visitations and places we go in our dreams. And a lot on their deathbed come back and they have a sense of peace. And that gives us hope that life does continue. No matter how you believe, life does continue. And so we just have to do our best here, the time we have in this lifetime. Yeah. And so I've been, and I'm in the master's phase of this doctorate program. I never intended to. I just was looking for a metaphysical science program, and I stumbled upon you can get these degrees, but it was the only program I could find. I said, okay, I'll buy it. I'll go through the 2 or 3 years of this, and I'm into the near-death experience and all these studies that are doing the science behind a lot of this stuff is just fascinating. And the thing is, we're not taking advantage of it. We're not as scientific people. The science community is not embracing this because they're skeptics. I get it, and they're trying to explain away the near-death experiences as part of the brain, and where consciousness really is kind of up here. Some people believe it's contained in the brain, but the amazing thing is once we die, it kind of leaves. So it does go someplace, which is part of the soul, part of the transition. So it's fascinating. And I'd love, because there's so much energy going on tonight for whatever reason, I'd love to hear the feedback from Scott and other, because so many people are crowding in.
Scott said that what you said was very accurate. It was not the brother that's
Oh,
still with us, but he understood who came through, and he said that was good. So there's some other people, so we'll get to that. We'll try to get to everybody. So please make sure that you've gone in and liked and followed our page.
and where are we going to in 2024? My hometown of Memphis, Tennessee.
We haven't announced it yet.
I'm sorry.
Okay. It's a secret. You just heard it. If you're on here, you know now before everybody else does.
Well, I saw it on Facebook, so I thought it was known. So,
It's okay. No, you didn't see it on Facebook.
well, I saw it in the vendor part.
It's called the Tease, the private vendor group.
Yeah. Okay, folks, we've changed our mind. We're not really going to Memphis.
I don't know. We might. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say for Lori. There's several texts that she wrote, and there's a lot of information, and I don't really want. I want you just to be able to kind of pick up on her energy and not hear what she's saying. So I'm going to step out here.
And since I'm on the phone, Lori, I really can't see. So, Mary Ellen, next time I spill the beans, I'll speak in Pig Latin. God, I feel bad about that. All right, I got to move on. Why am I? I am sensing, and again, I cannot read because I'm on my phone. I can't read, and information like that is always good to have after the fact, but it can affect the reading. But I understand, Lori. And so there's multiple passings here. There's a tragic. There's one that feels recent, very recent, this year or maybe last year, which is recent. And Lori, what I'm getting, what Spirit's saying, almost like there's unfinished business. And okay, Lori, what I'm getting is unfinished business, or there was something you wanted to say to get to somebody before they pass, and you get a chance to say it. And this is, Marianne, I swear, I think there's a sibling there that's passed. And because there's somebody very close, could be like a brother, like a sister, but the energy is very close to a brother or sister. And the thing is, I think, Lori, the things you have said, the things you have thought, the things you wanted to say, it's more than one person. It's more than one person, Marianne. It's like two or three. Things you wanted to say, they've heard and they understand. Oh, here it goes. And thank you for carrying out their wishes. Almost like you had to do something, Marianne, there's so many people here. I'm sorry. It's just flooded with energy. So
it's okay. She knows there's multiple people that have crossed over in a short period of time. So she's aware of that. So just kind of see who comes to the front.
They're all excited. They're all going, yay, Lori. But there's an anniversary coming up, or anniversary just passed. Okay, Lori, that and that person,
Come on, buddy.
the male, and that person seems to be extremely close to you. This is a male, and Lori, this person would be maybe about your age. And I say about your age, the energies are comparable. Like my wife and I, Mary, we're about the same age, okay? And without disclosing ages, I mean, we're about the same age. So that's the energy of the age. Okay, energy of the age. So there's somebody very close, very compatible. And this was a extremely sad sense of loss. I mean, we have losses where we go, hey, they're in a better place. Then we have losses, Mary, where we go, I don't get it. I don't get it. And this person, this male who comes to the front of this group, is like parents, grandparents, uncle. I mean, there's a whole bunch, because I'm going back 2 or 3 generations. This male comes to the front, misses Lori very greatly. Brother, I don't know, misses Lori very greatly. And sorry, didn't get again, sudden, tragic. Sorry I didn't get to say goodbye. Okay, here we go. Hope you understand. Hope you understand. I just I feel some despair. I felt loss. Um, uh, but Marielle, in some of this, her passing or somebody else's passing, there's a sense of maybe guilt, a remaining guilt on Lori's part. Get it? We all go through it, Lori. And he is saying there's no guilt. It's time to go happiness and time to move forward. And she's had, I mean, yeah, me, this young lady has been like to hell and back with everything going. Lori, there's angels around you. I think angels are real special. Archangel Raphael, my favorite, the Archangel of Healing, is near you. And oh, this is real important. But this gonna be tough one, Marianne. Somebody, and don't know if it's a gentleman saying, don't even think about following me up here. Don't. And that's a very strong, and I did not expect that, and I don't get that very often. But there's so many loved ones here that that just adore her, and
Lori, that's very important what he just said.
What's that?
I'm telling Lori that is very important what you just said.
Yeah.
It is hard being down here where it feels like, it's going to be an eternity before we see them again, before we connect. And really, they're not that far. That's what they're telling you, is
No.
they're not that far. And, it's okay to feel what you feel, but don't hurry up to be up there with them. I know
Yeah.
that's easier said than done.
Thank you, Marianne. She's got work to do, not on herself, but to help people. She's been through so much, almost like she could write a book about this. She's been through so much, she can help people. I always say through misery comes some kind of grace. Hard to see at the time because misery clouds when we're just a loss clouds everything. But grace somehow can find its way through there. And the signs for her loved ones for Lori are butterflies, a lot of butterflies. Yeah. And I will say prayers tonight for the folks that did not get on and that got on. We gave messages to. So Lori, I'm sorry for losses. This is this is brutal. This one's a brutal one, and I'm just so sorry.
Yeah. But that's why we're here, is to, again, that you'll know that they are close, that they're not far. They are watching what we're doing. They're involved with what we're doing as much as they were when they were alive. It's just in a different way. And it just feels like that they're far away. And so again, I'm sorry as well. I know that it's really hard. Okay, let's moving on. Let's go to Vicky.
Vicky, and it doesn't matter what they write down because I can't read it.
Oh, okay.
the iPhone working, although the screen makes my face look thinner, so I kind of like that. Okay, Vicky, it's almost like Vicky with you, the trumpets are blaring. Bump, 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 bump. The trumpets are blaring like it's time to be heard. It's time for your voice to be heard. And it's time to stand up. The Marianne, the movie Dead Poet Society, when they stand on the chair and Captain Carpe Diem sees the day. This is Vicky's time. And this is also feeling being kicked to the curb. Now, these are tough, man. I'm just, being kicked to the curb and know that I don't want to say that word, but I don't want to choose the spirit choose another word. So being kicked to the curb, and dark energies do not have the final say. And I mean, dark energies, they manifest themselves in people who bully and treat us and call us names and at the end of the day, they don't have the final say. And so know that even if you take a risk and let your voice be heard about injustices and little things going on around you, there's a great book called, I love the title, never read it, called The Universe Has Your Back. I love the title of that book. And in this case, the universe has your back. Your spirit guides, there's a spirit guides have your back. Okay, we're talking to Vicki, right? Okay, hold on a minute. So Vicki, there is a Native American spirit guide, and means you may have Native American blood or you may not. You don't have to have Native American blood to have Native American spirit guide. I just found out a month ago, there's one around me that's encouraging me more to write, like, come on, let's go. And I'm going, I'm trying. This Native American spirit guide is going to help you navigate. It's like she's in a maze of negativity and she's the only positive light. Boy, this is real cryptic, isn't it? And hopefully, folks, you're taking notes. That's always good to look back on. But Vicki, you're going to get through this maze of negativity. This year's been a really tough year. It's almost like 2022 is gone, and man, I can't wait for 2023. And now you're going, man, I can't wait for 2024. Vicki, the year is only halfway done, and there's a lot of stuff really good's going to happen to you in the second half, including reconnecting with old friends, reconnecting with old relationships, old friends, and that just really brings us a lot of peace. Someone on the other side is asking about the dogs. I don't know if you have more than one dog, but there's somebody saying, "How are the dogs?" And this is Vicki. This is a like a father or grandfather type of voice, or uncle, brother, but it's the energy is older than you. Okay, so a generation is what I'm saying. I don't talk about age. But when I say age, folks, I'm sorry, I mean a generation. So it's a generation, one or two above you. And if it's the same, I don't know. But anyway, it's a male and saying, how are the dogs? How are the dogs? How are the kids? How are the kids? They can even be talking about kids or pets, because we're pet parents, right? Not pet owners. And so, there's a lot of energy tonight, Mary Ellen. What you would think would be perfect for me because I have ADD. So you think I could really, but it is really time for Vicki's voice to be heard. It really is, and to stand up and be. And I think she's done a lot of it, and maybe people have put her down for speaking up. She's a social justice warrior. She really is. Impressed with this woman. And Spirit is saying, let your voice be heard. Take a leap of faith. It's a risk, but we've got your back, and we're not going to let you down. And it's time for you to right some wrongs that you have seen, because nobody else is going to step up and do it. And don't know who this gentleman is. Blows you a kiss, and then calmly walks back. So anyway, that's what I have for Vicki.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Let's go to Michelle.
Michelle. She's probably too young to remember the Beatles and that great, beautiful song of Michelle. Michelle, there is a younger gentleman coming through. I say gentleman, he's kind of a rascal. So he has kind of the energy of a brother, of a mischievous brother. Because as soon as I said gentleman, he corrected me and said rascal. A rascal is just, mischievous, right? And he comes through this, he misses you. This is a very close friend or a brother, Marianne. The energy is so strong. And there's something about a son. So I don't know if she's lost a son. I don't see a son. I don't hear the son. But I'm here. Here's what I'm doing, Mary. I'm hearing something about the son. So she has a son. If she has a son, yeah, I'm not getting anything else on the son. If there's any concern, if she has a son, there's any concern. This is what I'm asking Spirit now. Is there a problem? They say no. He's gifted. If she has a son, And if not, then I'm getting the wires confused, the wires mixed up. Um, but this rascal, as he likes to be called, comes through. Practical joker. Oh, now it's almost like an uncle. So when I hear brother, Michelle, it could be brother of a father, brother of a mother, makes an uncle, right? But this is definitely a male. Uh, Maybe not life of the party, but just there to make you smile, there to make you happy. And he says, think of the really good times. Think of the good memories you have of me and all these family members. All these family members. All of a sudden they came crowding in. It's Michelle. It's Michelle. Um, Says, never forget how proud we are of you. Never forget how pretty we think you are. Hey, I'm not the mayor of Creepy Town, okay? I'm just telling you what they say. Um, and never forget, you do matter. You do matter, and you far surpass anybody. And Michelle, it's a ton of people. So I'm going back several generations. Um, Kind of a Scottish heritage. God bless you, Michelle. Even if she knows it or doesn't know, I see the bagpipes and stuff like that. Um, and they're all proud of her. And she's a writer too. I don't know if she's writing books, but she's a writer. But she has many loved ones, and they're here. Last thing from Michelle, there's a big decision or an impactful decision she has to make coming up, and she will make the right decision. Make the decision that you know will be right. Not that other people will tell you, but make the decision that you know using your intuition, your God-given gifts, that you know is going to result in good stuff. Good stuff. It doesn't sound too. Anyway, it's going to result in good outcomes. Good outcomes. Good. All right, and that's what I've got for you, Michelle. Thank you so much for joining us.
I want you to be on the TV. Hang on, I had to go get my co-host here. He thinks I'm going to clip his nails here. So, can you say hello? You say hello to everybody. We had a special request of one of our viewers that we would. Oh, yeah, that Mr. Bingley would make an appearance. So, come on, buddy. It's okay.
Pronounce his name. What is it, Mr.
Bingley? Pride and Prejudice is one of my favorite books, my favorite movies. And in the last Pride and Prejudice movie, the character that played Mr. Bingley had hair this color. And it just, so we call him Bingley most of the time, but that's his formal name is Mr. Bingley.
Gotcha.
But yeah, but he thinks he's in trouble. He was snoozing over here, and he thinks maybe it's time to clip nails or anything. So, but he's a big fan of your show. He doesn't like to miss an episode.
Oh.
So he did miss the deer going by because that's his job, is to alert me whenever there's wildlife in the yard. Yeah. Especially the woodchucks.
We've had coyotes walking through.
Oh boy.
I just saw a video. A friend of mine, he's over in Winter Springs, which is not that far from us. I'm in Castleberry. He had his nighttime camera caught 2 coyotes walking through. So
I have a trail cam. We're going to hook it up eventually. So
the road runner will these coyotes.
We are out of time, and Scott says hello. Mr. Bingley's got fans.
More than Mr. Jerry.
Yes, yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you down, buddy. But he loves it out here in the country for sure. That's one thing about Florida. We have a very small yard there, and we walk, but it's not the same as he can just go. So the first thing he does is go through the yard and sniff whatever creature's been out there last. And we've got giant squirrels here too. So that's one of his favorite things. I see him on his back legs barking up the tree at the squirrels, and he's quite happy doing that. He did come nose to nose with a woodchuck, though, because my daughter had said, what's he going to do if he catches a squirrel is what we were thinking. Yeah. And we have a big trellis outside the back door that blackberries grow on. So I always look in the backyard, especially to make sure there's no deer, because he did run after a deer one day, and it wasn't even close. His little 2-inch legs just were no match. But anyway, I let him out, and I didn't see him, and I thought, well, maybe he was just doing his business. And all of a sudden, I heard it was kind of a cross between a hiss and a growl. And I immediately went out there, and the woodchuck was out there behind it, and I didn't see it. And then when Bingley looked at me, the woodchuck took his opportunity. He lives down the hill in the yard next to us. So that was good to know. He's not going to do anything other than just patrol. He's our guardian. So
he's got his
Oh yeah, and it's a big one here, trust me. But he loves it. He takes his job very seriously. So but anyway, we did run a little bit past 8 because we got started late today. So I apologize, and I'm not sure why my camera is out of focus. This has just been the day for technical issues. But at least we could hear and see you, and very profound messages that came through. You do have some comments that came in, especially from Lori. And she said she's staying put. She said, thank you. The information that you gave her meant the world to her.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. So that's very important. So I'm trying to make my camera reset here. I'm not sure why it's doing what it's doing, but anyway. All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging in with us. And we will be back in 2 weeks. We are trying to post the shows ahead of time so everybody knows. And this is the first time we've really had technological issues like this. So hopefully,
I'm pretty sure it's on my end. You know me with
No, look at my camera's all of a sudden not focusing, and it's been great every show. We've not had any problems with it, and I just don't understand what the heck. So anyway, let me see, Jerry. Gonna hang out with me after the show. After we end, we're gonna try to troubleshoot some of your things here and see if we can't get it straightened out. So everybody, thank you for being with us, and we look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks. But do like and follow our page. That way we can stay in touch and you can know more about what we're doing. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. So anyway, thanks everybody.
Thank you.